Hi there, my name's James Ferguson from Richtone Music. We're going to show you some of these new R-Taylor guitars that we've just recently received into stock today, and try and talk you through some of the features and hopefully give you a feel of what these guitars are like and the individual different woods and so on. What I've actually got here at the moment is an R-Taylor Style 1. This is part of the GS family size of guitars. The back and sides of the guitar are Indian Rosewood. So we've got beautiful finish on there, and lovely resonant wood, very rich, very warm, traditional build for some of these guitars. The top on it is Sinker Redwood. Now, Sinker Redwood, for those of you who aren't aware, is a wood that has been reclaimed recently and perhaps has spent somewhere in the region of 75 years at the bottom of a river. When the wood's down there, some of the mineral deposits in the water get into the wood, and they give it a really kind of lovely hue of various different colours, and each bit of Sinker Redwood can be different, to be fair. But this particular guitar's got very lovely subtle hints of purple in the top. They're only very subtle, but absolutely beautiful. They add a great deal to the beauty of the wood and the rarity factor. But most importantly, it's a very hard wood, and it resonates very well and gives a beautiful tone to the guitar. One of the main things about Sinker Redwood in terms of its tone and its frequency response is that at lower volume levels you get a rich sound, which has got the sort of high mid frequencies just very slightly tucked. But when the guitar's plucked hard, you get a springy brightness to the sound as well. And in a short while, I'm going to just very briefly play a couple of different styles, and hopefully you'll get an idea of how that sounds and how that works with the guitar. In terms of other features of the guitar, it's got a modified X bracing, which all the guitars I'm going to show you have today inside. And it's got the wood bracing inside, which is quite interesting. Is made of Adirondack, which is another really wonderful wood, quite often used for tops on these guitars. But obviously there's absolutely no skimping on these instruments, and all the bracing inside is Adirondack as well. So it gives a really lovely resonant quality to the whole guitar without any limitations, really. It's not being built to a price, it's being built for perfection. The radius of the top is 65 inches, so there's a very slight curve to the top of the instrument. It's barely perceptible, to be fair, but when you say 65-foot radius, if we would take a huge circle with a radius of 65 feet, this would be the outer curve, so just a very slight curve across the top there as well. We've got, in terms of the aesthetics of the guitar, it's got Coca-Cola binding, and I don't know how well it's going to come out on the camera here, but certainly maybe when you look at some of the pictures you'll be able to see that we've got Coca-Cola binding all the way down here around the edges of the guitar, and which certainly sets it off beautifully, and the red against the back and sides, the very dark back and sides, really does look very striking and very beautiful. We've got a mahogany neck, very traditional, very nice, lovely feel. It's got a 1.75 inch nut width, which is a standard nut width, and it's got a Taylor standard neck. So for those of you who are familiar with Taylor guitars, it's a very good feel, very much what you'd expect, and it's not going to be out of the ordinary at all. The scale length on the Style 1 guitar is slightly shorter, at 24.875 on the scale. So a very nice feel. It's something that's quite sought after, to have a shorter neck on some certain guitars, and certainly lends itself to different styles of playing more easily. Normally these guitars would come in standard scale length, but this particular one is 24.875 on there. On the back of the headstock, we've got striped ebony as well. Sorry, no, forgive me. We've got rosewood on that. Rosewood to match the back and sides on there. And all in all, that's the general outline of the guitar. We've got Goto 510 machine heads on there as well. Beautiful. And I'm just going to play a few different styles. So I'm going to give you a quick A quick finger picking style, so you can have a listen to that. Then I'm just going to strum the guitar with a soft plectrum, and I'm going to pluck each note individually. So hopefully that'll give you some indication of how the guitar sounds. Now strumming. Now the individual notes. So I hope that's given you a good overview of this particular guitar. If you've got any questions, do feel free to give us a call, and we'll be happy to do everything we can to answer any questions you've got. Thanks for looking.